Hey everybody, happy Easter and welcome to my live stream. In case you don't know, I'm Tim Metz and welcome to my channel. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful day today with your families and such. And I don't know, I got a new streaming device, so I wanted to give it a whirl today and see what was going on. I just set it up, so I'm ready to go with it. So, hey Marcus. How are you? Good to see you. As always, in the comments, please let me know where you're from. Marcus, I know where you are, but not that many people on right now, but eventually as people show up, I think, just make sure, just let me know where you're from. All right. I'm going to talk about a rudiment today. I'm going to call it the Forgotten Rudiment. And to be honest with you, I don't really know how to apply it that well on the drum set, because it's kind of crazy. Hey, Robert, New York. Miss that place a lot, man. Yeah. So anyway, the rudiment that I'm going to talk about, any guesses with all the people that are on there? The rudiment, the Forgotten Rudiment, the one rudiment that I want to talk about. What rudiment do you guys think is the Forgotten Rudiment, in my opinion? The Forgotten Rudiment. Anybody? I'll give it a second to populate. Pataflafla, yes, it is definitely one, but not so much. Hey, Bill from Massachusetts, thank you. Thank you for coming on. Cymbals, yeah. Hey, Wilmer, good to see you. Hope you're having a great weather. I know it got really hot in San Francisco for you guys the other day. Right? That's nobody has air conditioning in San Francisco, so that's a rough one. Sacramento, air conditioning, it's a must. So Pataflafla, yeah, drag, that's one of them. Yeah, definitely. Let's see if anybody hits this one, the one that I'm thinking of. Because it's so forgotten, nobody even remembers it. That's how forgotten it is. One more, I'll give it 2 more seconds here. Let's see what happens. Anybody else? While I'm waiting, I'm gonna grab my pad here so I can talk to you about it while we do this. Marcus, any ideas? Any guesses? Let's see. Oh, squeaky pedal. All right. Trying to keep everything going here. Flamacue. I know which one, but I forgot the name. Perfect answer. All right, I'm gonna play it, and you guys tell me if you recognize it. All right, here we go. I'm gonna do this. Okay, so I'm going to play it. I'm going to play it slowly. And just let me know if you recognize the rudiment. And if not, there's no problem. I'm just curious. All right, here we go. All right, any guesses? Anybody know what that one is? Anybody? Bueller. Just having fun. Just putting it out there. Flammadiddle-diddle. No, not the flam. Yeah, Robert, you got it. Flammadiddle-diddle. Right? Who uses that? Nobody. What is this? What's the deal with this rudiment? But this rudiment is great. It actually does show up in the Wilcoxon All-American Drummer a couple of times in a couple of solos. I think very forcefully, right? But it still shows up. This is going back to talking about the Rudiment Ritual. What I love about the Rudiment Ritual is that the first part of the Rudiment Ritual, starting from the first 3 rudiments, right? You have the drag. You got drags, and then you've got the drag taps, single drag taps, and then double drag taps. And so, like, having all those 3 rudiments just right in the beginning is really amazing. And then, further on, not that far later, you have the. And when it's funny, when I started learning the Rudiment Ritual, that was a rudiment that I'm going to be honest, I'd never played before. So, like 15, 20 years ago, I'd never actually played it. So, it took me a second to be like, whoa. Just sit there and actually try and get it to happen. So, yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's a fun rudiment. It's I don't know. It's one that just kind of sits there. Anybody out there have experience with this? Anybody out there actually use this rudiment for anything? Do anything with it? I don't know. If you do, chime in. Hit the comments. Does anybody have any questions? Yeah. Okay, Robert. How do you use it? What do you do with it? You know, yeah, it's a fun rudiment to get going. Like, it really messes with your hands, you know, and your brain at the same time. So yeah, that one's pretty fun. Yeah. Everybody having a good Easter out there? Yeah. All right. Cool, man. Yeah. He's Robert says, well, I'm not at the point where I move it around the kit, but I have facility with it. It comes easy for some reason. Others not. Yeah. It's kind of fun. Awesome. 2 toms. Sweet. Good job, Marcus. Yeah. So here's an idea. You know, you can always I always like to take the accented part of any rudiment and then try and play that on the toms, you know. So if you're playing it back and forth, it might sound something like this. That is a clunky rudiment. It is just tough to get around the drums and play, but yeah, it's fun though. It's a fun one. So yeah, upright hand, yep, exactly, doing that sort of stuff. But it's still, I mean, like, it's, you know, if you're playing as triplets, that's how you can do it. You can play it as eighth notes as well, you know. You don't have to play it as it does the over the bar line thing if you play it as eighth notes. Or yeah, so it's a great rudiment. Definitely the Forgotten Rudiment. Yeah, it is tough, Marcus. Anybody have any questions about anything? I just kind of wanted to throw out a little topic, and that's why I call it the Forgotten Rudiment. Just thank you, Bill. Appreciate it. Yeah, these are fun drums, and yeah, I'm happy the system works. This is this system is a little different. What a rudiment, Steve Pruitt! Steve Pruitt in the house, everybody. Hey, buddy, good to see you. Yeah, Steve Pruitt doesn't know anything about rudiments, so, you know, totally joking. If you guys know who Steve Pruitt is, definitely check him out. Check him out on Instagram, Steve Pruitt, fantastic drummer. I've definitely been looking for some kind of recipe, I think, for practicing the Rudiment Ritual around the kit. Do you have a routine? Yeah, there's actually I think it's Smitty's Rudiment Ritual is out there. Marvin Smitty Smith plays the Rudiment Ritual. It has a version of the Rudiment Ritual that goes all around the kit and does all sorts of stuff. I don't personally know it. As for me, like the way that I use it, what do you had a question? I didn't even see it, Steve. What are rudiments? Steve knows rudiments. Rudiments are language. Is that what you wanted, Steve? Rudiments are language. Rudiments are vocabulary. It's everything on the drums. All right. Definitely been looking for some sort of, do you have a routine? Check out the Smitty routine. You can probably find it somewhere. I don't know it personally yet. I haven't been working on it. For me, Steve, you're too kind. That is way too nice. Also, if you're looking for financial advice, Steve Pruitt is, he's got a great, oh no. Oh, I think my computer just went away. That's funny. Steve's got a great financial education sort of thing. What's it called? Money Jungle on Instagram. So yeah, thank you so much for the super chat, buddy. I appreciate it. Yeah, so I'm using right now. I just switched over. I got the Blackmagic ATEM Mini Extreme ISO. So I've got. I'm running that directly into the internet and bypassing my computer completely. So I'm really hoping that this will fix kind of some of I had some pauses that were happening here and there. And yeah, so I'm going to, maybe anybody else have any other questions besides what are the rudiments? What are rudiments? Language, vocabulary. Alan Dawson, Rudiment Ritual is awesome. Yes, that is very true. It's kind of what I do to warm up. And yeah. What's the name of that rudiment that ends in the 2 flams? It ends in 2 flams. Are you talking about the paddle flaw flaw? Because that's probably what it would be. I mean, if you're talking about the paddle flaw flaw, then it's this. But if you're not talking about the paddle flaw flaw, then I don't really know. Or you might be further on in the Rudiment Ritual, the Gary's Flams. Okay, good. Jen. Oh, hi, what's your opinion on playing the hi-hat heel down? Heel up feels unnatural for me, and it's throwing off my balance. Well, really? Hey, Steve, I got you covered. Let me see. I like heel down. Heel down is fine. I feel like it has a different sound, especially if you're playing the hi-hat. So I don't have a foot camera yet. I've got 8 inputs now. Now I just need more cameras. But check this out. So I'll play heel up and try and play the hi-hat while closing the, playing the hi-hat. For me, that just doesn't work. So I have to play heel down with that, right? So if I'm playing heel down, then I get. So there's the main difference for me, at least, for if I'm playing like jazz, playing swing, then I like to play heel up because it gives me a little bit more of an edge in my playing, as opposed to playing heel down, which kind of lets the playing kind of sit back a little bit. So. Oh, I forgot to switch cameras. So playing more on the edge is like that. Playing the bass drum heel down is okay for me. I think I'm building speed and it's control, but it's okay for the hi-hat. Yeah, I mean, like I said, yeah. Is it even possible to play faster quarter notes with this technique? Thanks. Yes, anything's possible. Technique is just a way for you to get a sound and get things to happen. So, getting what's in your head to end up on the drums and eventually in the ether, right? So, okay, reverse windmills. Yeah, the reverse windmills though, it's only 1 flam, right? So reverse windmills are. So that's reverse windmills. So there's no 2 flams. So yeah, Steve trading for years. Even says, I definitely think I've got it somewhere. I've literally never ever heard a paddle flop flop in music. It might be there. I don't know. It's another obscure, or not really obscure one, but just one of the ones. Yeah, Ellen Dawson's eight triplet ways kick my butt when the hi-hat is heel down, trying to use up and down to play complicated rhythms. Yeah, I don't know that, what you're talking about. I think that's something different than what I know, but I don't know that one. But yeah, playing heel down, heel up, like I said, it's technique. It's just to facilitate a sound. Yeah. Anybody else have any other questions about anything? This is kind of a little bit of a test to see what would happen. It's Easter. Family time, you know. Hope you guys are all, you know, spending the day with family and getting to, you know, just take some time to be, you know. We just got back from a vacation, which was really nice. We got to spend some time out, so. Cross-sticking phrases. Hi, Tim. Can you play some cross-sticking phrases? I don't know what that means. Are you talking about like something like? Or are you talking about like what Bobby just said, like crossing over the arms? I mean, yeah, that's just a matter of playing crossing over phrases. Oh, crossover arms. Sure. You know, like, you know, just anything that you can do, you're just playing, you know, between your floor tom and your snare drum, right? So I don't really like practice much of that stuff. I just let the sound dictate where I'm going with that. So, but a way to kind of think about it is to like practice some triplets. Is that what you're talking about? I don't. Oh, sun's coming in. Sorry, I'm right by a window. I usually have this taped down. So I don't know. I'm not somebody that practices stuff like that very often. But yeah, triplets force you to cross the arms more, huh? Yeah, triplets always do. Yeah. Who is the biggest inspiration in my sound? Man, I would say, I don't know. At this point, I actually just tune my drums to where I like them, and that's kind of where I'm at with it. I think as far as like people's sounds that I like, of course, I mean, all the classics, you know, Tony and Elvin and Philly and Max, Roy Haynes, everybody that came out of that stuff, came out of the early areas, Kenny Clark, yeah, just Art Taylor, geez. Billy Higgins. I just love everybody's, all the sounds from back in the day, and that inspires me to tune the drums, I guess, the way that I tune them, but I would say that my sound is the sound that I tune to. Cymbal-wise, these are kind of just the cymbals that I have now, so I don't really, I mean, I have more cymbals than this, but these are the ones that I'm hearing the most, and I don't know. I wouldn't say that it's necessarily inspired by any other drummers at this point. I think it's mostly inspired by my own ears, because it's been so long of just checking this stuff out. But I also just love Art Blakey and, you know, Elvin, and we'll try and play the drums like them every once in a while. And, you know, that's the sort of stuff that that keeps you informed with your vocabulary, and it keeps you away from flurries. I said it, flurries. Man, what is going on out there right now in the jazz world? Anybody? It's crazy. Like, everybody's getting mad at everybody else. I don't know what's happening. I don't like it. I think it's all music, but yeah. It's all just like, you know, music, right? It's out there. It's out there for us to study and learn and respect. And yeah. Yeah. Anyway. So yeah, sound, I don't know. I just, classic players are kind of where I'm at the most. And, oh, what happened? You have to kind of go on Instagram, and you can find it on Instagram. Instagram's just becoming like a really, I don't know, a weird place for drums and everything. So how do you guys feel about social media for drums? I guess this is social media, right? This is a social media platform. However, it's a little different, you know. So I think like Instagram and yeah, it's probably better that you don't have Instagram. It's really funny, but I don't know. There's just some weird stuff going on. I think people are starting to get really, really trying to, yeah, people are really trying to get these things going. I don't know much about Twitch. I don't have any idea how to do Twitch or what it is. So I just was thinking, you know, these, I don't know, if you want to hit me up, like, I'd be very willing to take your advice, because I literally have no idea what Twitch is about. I just know that it's a lot of video game stuff, so. Yeah. Yeah, lessons, yes, opinions, no, exactly, right? That's what it's all about, man. Like, it's all about, it's a music that was given to us, and so it's up to us to kind of, you know, learn from it and be cool. Benny Green has a really great post that he put up where he was talking about how drummers and bass players need to stop taking lessons or idolizing other 20 and 30-year-olds. You know, they need to really go back to the legends and see what the legends had to say about things. So, dudes, all right. Right now, Twitch is literally crowded by dudes doing Mario theme covers, and money is falling on their heads like rain. For literally no talent. Well, you know, I might, let's see, I will have to look that up. I would like money to fall on my head like rain. I will check that out. Yeah, that's interesting. I just, you know, I don't really have a following on Twitch, so maybe if I could get this to switch over to Twitch, that'd be cool. I don't know. That is a good idea. I should be doing that. Maybe there's a way to simulcast things. I don't have any idea. I'll start looking into it. I'm still pretty new to this live streaming thing. I actually have, the idea is to eventually have some courses out. So I don't know if you guys can tell yet, but I'm very rudimentally oriented. And I like to teach vocabulary, right? So I like to teach rudiments and things like that. And I like to teach people where they should go listen and what they should listen to, especially people that are pretty new to jazz. So I want to try and turn that into a course, an online course, so that, you know, if people don't have the time to necessarily take weekly lessons or can't afford it, it could be something that they can just go to on my website and, you know, pay a subscription fee and eventually just basically get the same service. And then these live streams and things like this would be part of that too, you know, so that would be a place where the students could ask me questions and, you know, could do it like that. So that's what I'm gearing up towards. I don't have any of that content filmed yet, which is also why I've got this. So yeah, that's what we're doing. So let's see. Michael, hi. I have to learn jazz solo transcription for my audition to Jazz University in Poland. Are there solos which you could recommend, not too hard, for someone who plays for 3 years? Greetings from Poland. Hey, Michael. Awesome. Super stoked that you're doing that. Yes, absolutely. If you go to my website, or if you go to the video where I talk about the calfskin heads, there's a solo, Sandu, from Clifford Brown and Max Roach. It's the first transcription that I always have my students do. I've had very young students do this, and I mean, while it doesn't sound like Max Roach, they're playing a great transcription, and they're starting to learn vocabulary and how Max played around the drums, so I'm very happy with that. So I think that one is my go-to first transcription. Yeah, so check that out. It's on the calfskin versus mylar drumheads video. You can go there. You have to enter in your email address on my website, and then you'll be able to download the transcription for free, and you can learn it, and you'll have it set. Bill, we stand on the shoulders of greats. Yes, Dave Tuff, Chick Webb for starters, totally worth the time. Absolutely, I see what you did there. Big Sid as well. You know, actually, it's funny when you go back through old Modern Drummer articles and you read like a Philly Joe Jones interview. You'll find that almost everybody studied with Big Sid Catlett when they first came to New York. So everybody was with Big Sid. I was talking to Kenny Washington about you know, learning things like from the Wilcoxon, like Charlie Pearsip and Elvin, I guess, used to live together, and every morning they would wake up and play some play some Wilcoxon. So, you know, like that's the sort of stuff that's so amazing. Yeah. So Davey Tuff, I mean, Dave Tuff, man, he's the reason that our bass drum started getting smaller, right? It was the Dave Tuff model was the 20-inch bass drum. So that's where it started. And then the funny thing, like, actually, it was funny. I read an article from Elvin in Modern Drummers, some of the Modern Drummer archives, and the interviewer was talked about the 18-inch bass drum. Like, why did you use the 18-inch bass drum? And the funniest thing was Elvin's response was, well, you know, with the 18, I could get it to sound like a 20, but it would fit in the trunk of the car and it wouldn't get ruined. So basically, the reason Elvin started using like 18s and such was because they had fiber cases and the drums would literally get strapped to the top of their cars when they were on tour going across the country. And when it rained, those fiber cases would disintegrate and ruin the drum. And so with the 18-inch bass drums, he could fit, you know, the cars were huge back then. They could fit them in the trunk of the car. And that's one of the reasons 18-inch bass drums became the sound. It's because they fit in cars better. And I will say, they fit in cars better. I love it. I never have to worry about how big my car is because I bring an 18-inch bass drum. It's perfect. All right. Michael, you're very welcome. Yes. All right. I'm going to play the drums a little bit because I just kind of want to hear how they sound and see what they look like through here. So. All right. There it is, warts and all. They're playing some drums. Yeah, Max Roach. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, 16-inch bass drum. I have a 16-inch bass drum, I guess, but I never use it. It's actually on my kid's kit. I like it too. Yeah, I tried the mambo a little bit. Raiden, good to see you. Yes, nice to see you. All right. Anybody else have any other questions or anything going on? I don't know. It says my bit rate is 0, so I'm just trying to check and see if am I still streaming? I think I am. Oh, it says I'm excellent now. Okay, cool. That's all I need to know. All right. How do you switch between matched and traditional? Oh, that's actually a really good question. Yeah, so what I do is actually really funny. So what I do with switching between matched and traditional is, so if I'm starting from here, I kind of kick this stick out like that. And so it almost looks like I'm twirling my stick when I do it fast. And people are like, man, I really like it when you twirl your sticks. I'm like, what do you mean? And turns out it was because I was switching between matched and straight. And then when I go back, it's not quite as nice, right? It kind of looks like that. I don't know, let's see. Let's try it here. So there it is, switch to match, and then going back. It's a little bit clumpier, but I can kind of do it like that too, right? And it's not, I don't think that's something I practiced. It just happened naturally, right? So you kind of just turn around and into that. And so it's something you can practice. It's weird, there's things about playing the drums if you want to prepare for gigs. Robert, thank you so much. That is so nice. I really appreciate the super chats. Thank you, guys. Also, I am available for Zoom lessons. I think I'm going to have some openings coming up here pretty soon. I've got some seniors that are graduating high school and going into college, and they're probably not going to be taking lessons very long, so very much longer. So if you guys are interested in drum lessons, summer's going to start to be a pretty good time. My availability will be opening up. So yeah, I don't know. Going back to that, it's just something that you can kind of practice. Again, practicing weird things, you can practice like tearing down and setting up your drums, becoming efficient with that. I've got it down to a science. I'm a little rusty now because I haven't played a gig in a while, but just like playing the drums, I haven't played the drums in a little while either. Like I said, I was on vacation, but yeah, so there you go. Things that you can practice. Oscar, yeah, I love your playing. Oh, thank you so much. Samba swing, yeah, I mean, you can. It depends on the music. So the best thing to do would be to, decide what you consider a samba versus what is a mambo or a samba versus a bossa nova, right? So a lot of times it's tempo that dictates that, right? So if you're playing a very fast samba, even swing fast straightens out, right? So if you're playing up here, then there's not much swinging in it, right? So if you're playing a little bit slower and, it kind of teeters on the bossa nova sort of spectrum, like if you're here, I think I lost my mouse. So, if you do that, if you're in that sort of range, then, it gets, the rest of the band has to do it, the music has to call for it, right? So, yeah, I mean, it could be both. It doesn't really matter. You have to use your ear and decide what the music's doing. Talk to your bass player, talk to the rest of the band, and make it kind of more swung, right? So if you're playing a little bit faster, then you're starting to get into like more of the samba territory, and then it could be more straight too, right? So you're just going to be kind of like, that is kind of in between, right? It kind of has that swing to it. And a lot of it has to do with the eighth notes that I'm playing with one hand, That'll kind of set more of the swing tempo, the swing feel. Yeah. And Marcus, you just said that Elvin did something like that. Yes, absolutely. Elvin, if you check out Coltrane's sound, that's a good spot. But he's playing more of the mambo, He's playing more like this. Yeah, Elvin, Afro Blue, exactly. Afro Blue is great. Even Love Supreme, like he's got a swing edge to a lot of the first one on Love Supreme. It's like, yeah, Elvin is like the king of that stuff. But also, let's see here. Art Blakey too. Art Blakey especially. Michael, ask away, please. Like if you have a lot of questions, ask them. I'm here for you guys. So. Raiden, I can't get, so this is from Raiden, I can't get my ride cymbal stand in a comfortable position right now. It's in a terrible position. I mean, it works, but it's not very nice. I still need to find a way to be consistent with setting up. Yes. So here's a little helpful hint. All my cymbal stands are straight, and these are actually the flat bass stands. Like this one is the flat bass one from Tama. This is one from the 60s, right? So this one's pretty old. But yeah, it's... they fit underneath the bass drum and they can get really close to the shell of the drum, right? So this one, my main ride cymbal, is only about an inch or so away from the shell of the drum. Here, maybe you can see it if I take this off. So you can see right there. Not a whole lot, especially when I get there. Actually, it's like about an inch. So that's about where I like to have my ride cymbal. Stand, right? And so that makes it so that, obviously if I had a second tom, it wouldn't really work very well. But since I like my ride cymbal kind of front and center, this is a really comfortable place for me. So sometimes it's your gear too. I don't personally like boom stands. I feel like they change the sound of the cymbal too much and they kind of wobble in a weird way. So not my thing. But I do definitely like straight stands. These Thomas stands I think are some of the best. My gig stands are the DW Ultra Light stands. So yeah, sweet. Yeah, man, thanks. Hey, Oscar, you're very welcome. Awesome. That's very cool. I'll have to check him out too. I don't know who Kareem Ziad is. I'll have to check him out. I guess I didn't know what the famous, but I heard it from Elvin first. All right. Yeah. Okay. So Raiden, wait, boom stands change the sound. Yeah, it's a weird thing. In fact, I like these flat bass stands, and this is so hard for me because like I don't like gear like this, but like I personally. I've tried it on various stands. I'll take one cymbal to a place that has multiple stands, like a drum store, and I'll take a cymbal and put it on each stand. And believe it or not, like these straight flat bass stands all have a better sound to me than any boom stand or even like just regular triple bass stands. The ones that are triple tripod stands, right? They just kind of. Something about the way that they sit on this, I feel like they react better. I get a better sound from the cymbals with that. So, but if you have boom stands, use a boom stand. It's not a big deal. It's like, just don't even worry about it. It's totally cool. But yeah, for me, I've spent years and time just trying to figure out this stuff, and I didn't believe it either when I first got some of these flat bass stands. Like I literally was like, you have to be kidding me that a stand is going to make my cymbal sound better. And then I checked it out and I was like, okay. It's minuscule. The difference is there. It's minuscule, but it definitely, the cymbals have a different feel and they I think that they just kind of react better on these stands. So, and also what's really cool about this stand, these two stands, is that this tube right here is solid metal, right? So this is solid metal, same as this one from the 60s or even before. So this is solid metal. This, I think, actually helps with the density and the sound of the cymbal as well. So, yes. Oh yeah. See, I will, Oscar. I'll check them out. Crazy 4/6/3, all the good stuff. Yeah. Ugh. Brain messery. The flat stands are also much more practical. Yes. And that's, yeah, it wasn't Erskine's idea necessarily. Like, I think his idea was to bring back this stand. So this is the original stand that basically this is copied from. And it's funny, like when you go back to Erskine, he was with Yamaha for years and years and years. And when he left Yamaha, he went to DW, and then that's when he developed the flat bass stands with DW. Like I think he wanted to make this stand with DW. And those initial light flat bass stands were the reason, I think they were one of the main reasons he went with DW. And then he switched to Tama not that long after that, I guess, like a couple years. And that's when these stands started coming out, and these are pretty cool. So I think Jeff Hamilton is developing some stuff with Canopus as well. I don't know if those are out yet, but those are going to be like vintage style stands. So the difference is that anybody with vintage cymbals knows the deal here. This is a smaller diameter thread, and it fits vintage cymbals perfectly because vintage cymbals have a smaller mounting hole. My cymbals have keyholes, and so like they fit on modern stands now. But so this cymbal stand has a larger thread here. So like if I had a true vintage cymbal without that, it hasn't been reamed, then it wouldn't fit on this stand, but it would fit on this stand. So it's crazy, right? I actually, when I got all my old Ks, I reamed them all out so they could fit on modern stands, because I wanted to take them on the road. I wanted to take them out playing and stuff. So this one's got a keyhole. You probably can't see it very well, but it's got a keyhole. The other one's got a keyhole too. So I don't care. That just means they've been loved. So yeah, I don't know about Tama putting his name. I haven't seen his name on any of these things, but yeah, no, he definitely developed this with Tama, and he's the reason that these are out there. So all right, anybody else have any questions or anything going on? Anything playing-wise? Michael, I'm super glad I was able to help you out with this, with your transcription. I always think that that's a great one. Also, when you do go back to listen to that, make sure that you listen to the whole song. You know, like check it all out, listen to it a bunch of times. Try and sing along to it while you're reading the music when he's playing the solo. You know, so read the solo while you're listening to it. Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, totally in the advertising, yeah. So yeah, just read it along and then start playing it, you know, and learn it like that. Marcus, no big deal. I totally understand. I don't follow advertising much, so if I followed advertising, then, you know, everything would be, I don't know. I honestly I'm not a big fan of drum advertising, so it's very crazy. What did you say? I totally agree. And have you gone back to... Oh, sorry. I missed Bill. Sorry. I totally agree and have gone back to flat and chucked that snare stand for an old flat-armed tripod. Yes. Yeah. I like... See, the DW snare stand is very much like that tripod one, you know? Like, it's yeah. I like that stand, actually. It's weird. It bounces a lot. It's not great for backbeats, but it's pretty cool. But yeah, that stand, that's crazy. This is like a Yamaha stand from, you know, it's their 700 series, and I like these a lot. But yeah, these are actually pretty cool. These are pretty stable and steady and just not, I don't know. They work, but they're a little bit too heavy for me now. I just like the lightweight stuff, man. I just like it. So horizontal steel arms, not vertical. Kind kind of missing what you're talking about, but I got it. I have a set of drums from the 1939 looking to sell. Whoa. Nice fat backbeat. That looks pretty cool. Bunny Carlos, man, he's had such a collection. I mean, he had lots of old Ks and lots of great drums. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, yeah, it used to be a tool, not a toy, so I think the right thing to go with the advertising. Yes. There's no giving any of the newsstands. Yeah, I mean, especially the really heavy stuff, like there's just nothing, right? Like it just, yeah. Yeah, I mean, the new stands are very rigid and stiff, and I think that's kind of what's going on with like the cymbals. Yeah. So I want the ultra lights, but you always need the big ones for recording and risky outdoors gigs. I don't know, Joshua. I mean, I've used mine on every gig, outdoor, indoor. Actually, you know what's funny? Like I was playing this outdoor gig with these stands, and the wind was so violent. It wouldn't have mattered what stand it was on. It wouldn't have mattered. But the wind was so violent that my cymbals were getting knocked over. And so what I ended up having to do is just level out my cymbals and just lower them. And so I got my cymbals. Have you seen Jonathan Blake? Like I was playing like Jonathan Blake on that gig, and it basically keeping them flat kept the wind from knocking them over. So yeah. I don't know. I don't use the big ones for recording at all. I use these because I like the way they sound. I like the way that they set up. I don't think that it matters one bit whether you're recording with something bigger or these. These don't squeak. They sound good. So, yeah. Yes, Michael. I saw your video about practice routine. I try to work like that, but since month I cannot see any progress. It's depressing. What should I do? Michael, did you record yourself at the beginning of your practice? The first time you sat down to practice something, if you recorded it and then record the exact same thing a month later, you might see the progress. So you don't remember yourself growing, right? You don't remember being like this taller, this much taller, this much taller. You just grew, and it's very natural, right? And it's almost exactly the same thing from how you're practicing, and you might not recognize your improvement, but I guarantee you it's there. So for me, practicing is more about being mentally prepared, mentally focused on what you're doing. A lot of people used to say that you can practice mindlessly, like, well, during the commercials of whatever TV show you're watching, but yeah, you can't be brainless. You have to be focused when you're practicing. And if you're just trying to get your hands to do something like paradiddles, you can practice like that on your legs. You know, you don't need to be on a drum set for stuff like that. But anyway, the deal is this: like, record yourself when you first start doing something, and then record yourself a month later. You won't notice the improvement within that time, but if you watch those two videos back to back, you're going to see improvement. So that's one of the best things that you can do. Also, just don't be depressed about it. Know that see this. I'm stealing this from my friend Mike Johnston. He's like talking about this timeline of music, right? Everybody in their journey is on a timeline, on this almost the same timeline, right? And whether you're the most beginning player or the greatest professional that ever lived, right? There's a timeline. Everybody started from not having drumsticks and not having anything, and then they picked up drumsticks, and then they started playing various other things, and they moved along the timeline. How you move along this timeline is completely up to you, and sometimes it's gonna feel like there's no breaks. To be honest, like I feel kind of depressed about my playing right now. I haven't been playing with people for very long, and it's been a little uninspiring. So I'm working to overcome that, and I think that's just recording yourself and putting yourself out there. It's just how you do it. So hopefully that helps you, man. I know it's a tough thing when you're getting depressed about your own playing, but don't be. You got this. All right. All right. Let me send those U-bolts. Any snares? Yeah, Bill, if you check out the two fold-out arms, if you check out the DW Ultralights, I mean, you might already know this, but they fold out just like those old stands, just like the old ones did. It's actually really cool. Men beheaded from old cake. That's funny. All right, rating. I didn't have time to practice this week. Came back today, and damn, I suck. I really do. It's so frustrating. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's actually good to take a break from the drums, though. I mean, there's so much life that you have to live. Remember, music's about life, and you gotta live life to play music efficiently, or effectively. So, don't feel bad about not practicing. Just make sure that you continue to practice, and you will be better. You will catch up to where you were, I promise. It just might take a little bit of time, but that's okay. It's okay to have that moment, right? So I say don't worry about it. Joshua, it also depends. I just started to really work on my technique, and I'm having to do rudiments painfully slow. I thought I was stuck the first week, but you get to see after a while the little improvements. Absolutely, and that's one of the things in my teaching, that's exactly what I teach, is playing the rudiments painfully slow. In fact, right now I'm going to teach you guys how I teach flams. This is my method. All right, so the first thing that you have to know about a flam is that you have to start from a good ready position. And so a ready position for me is right about a half an inch off the drum. So I'm right here. This is the best camera angle for seeing the half inch off the drum. And so for here, you can kind of see my hands better. So I'm about a half inch off the drum. This is ready, and then I say up, and then I say flam. And then I say ready, up, flam. Ready, up, flam. Ready, up, flam. Always returning to that ready position. So ready, up, flam. Ready, up, flam. Ah, I messed it. Ready, up, flam. Ready, up, flam. Ready, up, flam. And so what that does is it keeps you from going flam, flam. And so when you're playing like this, you get hand confusion is what I call it, right? So you're confused because your hands don't know which one's hitting first. But if you play your flams like this, you're hitting all the strokes, right? You're getting your tap stroke with your flam. You're getting an upstroke because you're practicing it, up. And then you're getting your downstroke, right? So you get all the strokes. And then as you practice your flams, you use this. And then as they get better, you get rid of the ready position. But there's no hand confusion. You know you're doing a right flam or a left flam. And by the way, just in case everybody doesn't know this, but a right flam means your right hand's high and your left hand's low, but your left hand hits first. And it confuses everybody at first. So right hand high, left hand low, right flam. Left hand high, right hand low, left flam. All right? Hopefully that helps. That's kind of a little thing of my teaching right there. That's how I do it. I actually stole that from Greg Bissonette. Commander Alpaca! Marcus, you are not annoying at all, man. Why did stop saying that? I really appreciate you. How are you, Commander Alpaca? Very nice to see you. Yeah, sure, I get it, but I'm a bit scared about my audition, especially since I don't have a teacher and I've worked on the basics myself. Yeah, don't worry about it. Hit me up, Michael. Hit me up. I'd like to help you. All right, so send me an email. Bill, we need our clubs and halls back. Yes, it is. It is. I don't know what we're going to do at the other side of this. I've got a streaming gig, I guess, coming up in a couple of weeks, and I'm excited about that. But it's, yeah, I don't know. It's, I need to play music with people, it's been crazy. So I'm excited about getting back to that. Michael, I've been a violinist for 12 years, so I'm actually finishing my violin school, so I don't start with the basics of playing, for example, on a recruit legend learned at school. Oh, okay, great. So you've played music, so you'll understand a bunch. Yeah. Cool. All right. Super cool. And Joshua, you're very welcome. Appreciate it. Commander Alpaca, tired though. Yeah, man, I am too. My kids woke me up at 6 this morning after a later night last night, and they were very excited about their Easter eggs. I'll just say that. New York, yeah, people are playing outside. Get a mask. Yeah, that's what we're doing. I've done a few gigs like that. I think there's just little motivation out here right now to get that done. I mean, even on my end, it's kind of crazy. So, Tom, have you messed about with swing factor / percentage? I don't know if are you referring to just ride cymbal playing? Then yeah. Because I mean, anytime you sit down and play the ride cymbal, if you want to play like Art Blakey, you have to change your factor, right? Your percentage of swing on your beat. So the way that I work on swing beats is by sitting down with a ride cymbal, playing quarter notes, and listening to the record that I'm playing along to, and trying to play along to that record at low volumes, right? So I'm really listening for that, and then I'll try and replicate the swing feel of the drummer that I'm playing along with. And if that's what you meant by factor / percentage, then yes, that's how I do it. Art Taylor's swing is a lot different than Billy Higgins' swing, which is a lot different than Kenny Clark's swing, which is different than Max Roach's swing, which is different than Philly Joe's swing, which is different than Roy Haynes' swing, which is different than... You know what I'm saying. What's up, Gavin? Good to see you, buddy. Anyway, yeah, that's how you do that. Gavin, how would you balance gigging while also having a full-time job and not getting exhausted between the different activities? Yeah, man, you're just going to get exhausted. You're too young to get exhausted, though. You just got to burn at both ends, I think, right now, man. I know how old you are. You can do it. Imagine having kids on top of that. So, yeah. So I don't know. That's what I would manage, and then just also, it kind of, depending on your job, it's work-life balance. I don't know. I do this. This is my job, right? So this is how I make my money, which is fortunate, and I'm very happy with it. Well, not this necessarily, but playing the drums is how I do it, and. Yeah, I don't know. It's you just gotta make time for it. There was a time that I worked a full-time job where I was working 55, 60 hours a week sometimes, and I didn't play much drums during that time, and it kind of sucked. And so I became a really terrible employee, and eventually I cut my hours back, and then eventually I was just like, I'm out. I can't do this. And I became a full-time musician after that. So I was very lucky with that. But yeah, Tom, you're very welcome. I hope that was the question, but I don't think in terms of factor or percentage with this. I mean, that's very very technical and probably MIDI derived or computer derived. I think of it more organically with just who I'm playing along with. So hopefully that helps a bit. Right in. How can you find people to play with? Just ask them. Go up to the people that you want to play with. I mean, in this particular time, it's a little tough, but yeah. This particular time is a little tough, but you can, reach out on the internet. If Instagram's a good place, Facebook, find the musicians that are in your town that you want to play with and just say, hey, I want to play with you. And they'll probably say no, or they might say yes, or, you just got to get out there and do it. Or, pay them. That's how you get great musicians on your album. I'm talking to Jeff Clayton. He used to, what was it? He would say, if he liked you, his fees were reasonable. If he didn't like you, well, you were in the thousands of dollars. So, people, if you want, that's actually always try and play with people that are better than you. So, yeah, I don't know. Hopefully this connection thing is working a little bit better, but I'm not saying it is. It says no data for some reason. All right, let's see. Michael, what is the situation with COVID in country? Are there any events? Yeah, the country is crazy, Michael. Like some places it's opened up. In my particular area, it's starting to open up a little bit. There are no real events yet. I mean, I think sports are just starting to happen again, where people can go to a baseball game. But you get weird news, right? Like they're like, what? So, like, I don't know what's happening. I think like the first a theme park finally opened. It's the first one in California that finally opened in Vallejo, and in Southern California, Six Flags, they just opened, and I think Disneyland is either about to open or is going to open or is open, but it's all very limited capacity. I don't know. Like everything you hear is like, "Yay, we're opening up," and then they're like, "But don't get ahead of yourself." So who knows what's going on? Hopefully, it's okay for you guys out there too in Poland. Yeah, Marcus, it was too much. Yep, that's what I'm saying, Bill. I'm with you. Tom, I listened to Jacob Collier talk about it and never really hear drummers talk about it in swing factor percentage terms. More like how you described it as different drummer feels. Yeah. So, yeah, it's funny. Jacob Collier, okay. So I have a couple of feelings about Jacob Collier. First, I think it's just a monstrously gifted musician. But I also, I can't. Like, some of his stuff, I think, is beautiful and gorgeous. Like, his NPR Tiny Desk concert is one of the best Tiny Desk concerts or best things that have ever happened to music, really. Like, it's incredible. I just love it so much. But the entire albums, like, I can't get there. And some of the ultra nerdy stuff, with the theory and the harmony, I love it I love it and hate it. I love it because it seems to be getting people super excited about stuff, about music. I don't like it since I think that it's leading people towards not the wrong stuff, but stuff that's above their pay grade, if you know what I mean. Like it's a little bit beyond what people are maybe musically capable of in their particular timeline. Ooh, going back, right? So, yeah, I again, if you haven't checked out his Tiny Desk concert, it is incredibly gorgeous. It's amazing. But like I said, I've tried to listen to the whole albums. I just can't do it. So, Raiden, thanks for the advice. You're very welcome. Felipe, obrigados. I think I said it right. Hello from Brazil. Very nice. I want to go to Brazil so bad. I mean, that would be that's a dream of mine. So hopefully I get to do that sometime. Fatback, Florida's been open since last fall. Yes, we all know about Florida, and there's a little bit of jealousy, but also, it's good to be. I don't know. We're more cautious out here for some reason, but yeah, Florida's been open. I heard about Miami. Yeah, the swing factor is an amazing study. South India holds the golden heads for hundreds of years. Yeah. Yeah, South India. I mean, all the Indian rhythms and all that stuff, everything, Indian classical music. Have you guys seen that new iPhone commercial where they're doing that? The new humble, yeah, Bill. Yeah, the new iPhone commercial is just so sick because it's tabla or is it? I don't think it is tabla. I think it's there's the voice where he's speaking the tabla and the syllables before you go and play it, and it's just killing. So. Bossa Nova. Yes, absolutely. Would you like me to play a Bossa Nova? I'm going to play a Bossa Nova with brushes because it's been so long. I miss some brushes here. I want to do something where eventually I'm playing. I just want to do like a week of brushes. So I think at some point that's what we're going to do. All right. Bossa with some brushes. All right. Anybody else have any other questions? I'm gonna maybe go back to my family and hang out for the rest of the day. I think it's a good day for that. So if anybody has any other questions, hit me up. If not, I'll see you probably next week. Yeah. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. I'll hang out for a couple more seconds and then we'll see what's happening. So. Thank you. I should go to Twitch. I think Twitch would be interesting. Ooh, Crusher74. Do I tune my toms to a note? No, I do not. But they end up being pretty close to notes anyway. Yeah, so yeah, they're. I don't know if it is a note necessarily. I tune to Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. I can't play it. But yeah, I like to do the Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and it's kind of fun to do that. And I feel like that way I get my snare drum kind of out of the way too, you know, with the snare buzz. Or maybe not. So, you know, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star for the toms, and then the bass drum. I kind of tune up or down depending on the room. I like where it's tuned right now, so it's just, it's kind of a little bit deeper, meatier right now. I like to stay out of the way of the bass player's range, but I haven't played with the bass player in a while, so. Let's see. Thank you guys. Bill, thank you for making my day. Thank you guys so much for being here. Commander Alpaca, likewise, thank you for being here too. Crusher74, I've been using a TuneBot. It is very interesting. I tried to use a TuneBot once for my for that video where I did Calf versus Mylar, and I hated it. I hated every second of it. I just like to use my ears. My ears are my TuneBot. It does not make a lick of difference. I mean, it'll help you get set up, right? I mean, TuneBots will help you get to the next thing, next level, or get your heads pretty even. But I don't know, man. I like to use my ears, and it's funny. When I was doing that video, my friend Billy was helping me with the TuneBot, and I would put the heads on, and I would get them in range, and then he would dial it in to get the actual numbers on the TuneBot so we could have a measure, right? And almost every drum that I did, it was really quick, right? Every head change that I did, I got it to within a few degrees of the original number that we were looking for. So, I mean, I think after a while and experience, and that kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier, like tuning is something that you can practice, right? So you sit down and you start practicing your tuning and get your drums sounding the way that you want to. I remember when I first got my drum set, my very first drum set, I had to take them because they got rented for a festival, and my drum teacher tuned them for me, and I loved the way they sounded. And I got to this festival, I let all these other drummers play them, and they came back sounding a million times different. Like, everything was different. I was like, what? And so I had to, I think I was like 12 or something, maybe even younger. And I had to learn how to tune it right there because I just, you know, my drum teacher wasn't going to come back and tune my drums. So that's where I first started dabbling in tuning. And then, you know, Weckl was a huge influence in the 90s where, like, I had the drums that tried to sound like his. And, you know, so I just learned how to tune by ear. I never used any devices for that. So, all right. The TuneBot has shown me that my ear is very poor. Okay. Well, you know what? Sit at the piano. Sit at the piano and develop some ear training. That's a really great thing that you can do is, you know, try and sing some notes and try and, you know, sing intervals based off of a note. And then you can, you'll start doing that. And really the by ear thing that I'm talking about is not necessarily like getting the intervals exactly. It's just using your instincts, right? So my instincts are that this sounds good. But I don't like this. Right? And right there, we're almost back to where we were. That was just one lug, right? So that's all I'm saying by ear. Like, I don't have perfect pitch. I don't have a great ear when it comes to, like, you know, singing or any harmony or theory or that stuff. I mean, it's okay, but it's not great. But yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, is the drum in tune with itself? So, yeah. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. I didn't even realize I was doing that until, I don't know, probably that video, which is pretty funny. So, yeah, steal it. Steal away. That's just what I do. That great musicians borrow. Good musicians borrow. Great musicians steal. All right, guys. Well, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week at some point. I'm not sure. I'm going to try and make a very regular time for this. I just have not. My wife's job and our lives kind of make it so a regular time is very difficult to do. However, I'm gonna put it in there. So at some point, I'm gonna really analyze the schedule and figure it out and see what time would be good for everybody too. So, cymbal felts. Oh yeah, look at this. Okay, guys, here's a good one. Bill comes back. Bonus act: cymbal felts under all legs, moon gel between bottom snare rim and stand, and the best muffling system is a yoga mat and a pair of scissors. Great for cymbal music. Yeah, you know, you really don't have to buy all the cool stuff that they have out there. You can do exactly what Bill just put up there. That's it, right? Bottom snare rim and stand. Yeah, so he's talking about putting a moon gel right here, and that'll help, your drum. Yeah. All right. Everybody, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. I look forward to seeing you guys soon. All righty. Take care.